Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. When you talk about hunting, we talk about shooting, you're going to go through a lot of ammo. A lot of people have figured out, hey, let's get into hand loading. Well, I love hand loading because, of course, I'm able to develop loads that I really like, maybe loads that work better for my guns. Also, you can save money. But when you talk about loading, you got to talk about components, and then you end up talking about gunpowder. And the folks at Hodgdon, they're the gunpowder people. We're joined right now by Oelger from Hodgdon. Hey, Aaron, I had somebody call the show last week and was talking about doing a substitution of powders and using one that there's no data for that in terms of moving, changing from one powder to the other. We'll swap this thing out. What is your reaction when you hear something like that?
Yeah, that is something that frightens me a bit. We certainly don't want to be doing that. So at Hodgdon, we call ourselves the gunpowder people because we've been doing this a long time. We have invested in ballistics labs. So we have one in our Kansas facility. We have one in our Montana facility. And in those labs, we test everything. So we shoot all of our data. We have pretty sophisticated equipment that will allow us to understand ballistics data, pressure data, velocity data. We put together everything, and then we put all of that on our website at hodgdonreloading.com. So that our customers can go and see what data we have available. Now, there's always new cartridges launched, and we belong to SAAMI, which is the regulating body that approves cartridges and loads. We work with SAAMI to understand what cartridges are coming out, and we'll develop new data for those new cartridges. And we're always going back, and when we launch a new powder, we'll shoot all the data for that as well. I say all that to say we put all of our data out there for consumers to safely be allowed to load their own ammunition. Outside of that, it always worries me when people are doing, kind of these home experiments. There are a lot of smart people out there who've been wildcatting for years and have the subject matter knowledge to do that. But if you don't have that, it always worries me when people are talking about, their own in-home experiments. I've seen those end badly, and I would just say that the experts are there to give you expert information. Let's follow the experts' information.
I hear people, and have all my life when I've been reloading, saying, well, I can increase this charge because they build in a safety margin. And my reaction to that is, well, certainly you can. So what you're telling me is, I want to throw away the safety margin and not have the safety margin anymore. Explain to me how you're going to do that and why you want to do that again.
Right. Yeah, that's the safety margin is there for a reason. And, when you look at SAAMI is the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute, who sets the standards for each cartridge. They're going to give you the standards for what is the max, what's the minimum, and you need to stay within that. And that's something that we do at Hodgdon. And yes, we are safe because we want to be safe, and we don't want consumers out there doing something that's going to create an unsafe condition while they're shooting.
And I have a secret I can share now. I don't know if this has ever been put out there before. There's a way to get more velocity out of your cartridge in a safe manner. You can, in fact, add 200, 300, or 400 feet per second to your 30 caliber, your 30-06. And what you do is then you go buy a 300 Magnum.
That is true.
Right?
And most of us who have been shooting for a long time also understand, there are lots of factors that go into, especially on the hunting side. And there's not a lot of animals out there that can't be killed at a couple hundred yards with a 30-06, right?
Right.
So, I think that there is a tendency to go faster. We're Americans. We like bigger and faster. And hey, I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. And I own a lot of Magnums in my rifle safe. But the reality is, people have been killing, the Swedes have been killing moose with a 6.5 cartridge for 100 years, right? Mm-hmm. So yep. There is always, something to learn out there. Just because it's bigger and better and bigger and faster doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
I also think as I progress in age and go through the different stages of hunting, everybody I know who has a lot of experience in hunting has a tendency to back off on the throttle a little bit and go with maybe a little bit less powerful cartridges because they have figured out I can kill stuff just as well and really just as far up to practical hunting distances with a 708 or a 7x57 or even a 6.5 Creedmoor than I can with a Magnum, and it's just more fun to shoot.
That's absolutely right. And, I've wondered, I guess I would be considered middle-aged now, and I'm starting to wonder if that is something that you learn about yourself or if that's something that you kind of learn about yourself that you don't really like recoil, right? So I'm not sure which of those, if I'm more recoil sensitive now at my age, or if I've just become smarter. But yeah, I would say that I am more likely to be using non-Magnum cartridges right now.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's pivot a second here because as we're talking today, you have a monster promotion coming up this coming weekend. We ought to talk about that.
Sure, absolutely. We will be running a promotion for Labor Day. About 3 years ago, we decided to start offering powder on our website. So if you go to shop.hodgdon.com, you'll be able to order basically anything that we offer. I would say up front, I want all of our customers to buy local. We have a lot of really good gun shops that carry our product all across the United States. And if you're somewhere that's close to those gun shops, I want you to go there and buy local. If you're not, we have a lot of big retailers that we work with, right? So, Bass Pro, Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields, even Walmart carries our powder in some areas. And so if that's available, buy from them. If you're not and you want to order from an online, there's plenty of sources like Midway USA, Natchez, Powder Valley, Shooting Shop, where you can go and order our powder. All that being said, what I found 3 years ago was that not everybody carried all of our powder. We also know over the last 3 years, it's been really hard to get powder. And so we launched this shop.hodgdon.com site several years ago to give people an opportunity to go to our website and see we're going to carry everything. I understand that not all gun shops, especially the small town gun shops, can carry every SKU that we offer. We put everything on our website. And the good news for us is that over the last, especially the last couple of months, we've been able to put ourselves in a really good spot where we have a fair amount of inventory now. Because of that, when you order online, you will have to pay hazmat and shipping, and that can add a lot to the expense of powder. And so during the Labor Day period, so we're going to say that's next Friday, the August 31st through Monday, September 4th, we are going to waive shipping and handling for all orders over $300 off of our website. So if you go to shop.hodgdon.com from August 31st through September 4th, when you check out and you have more than $300 in your cart, you'll get free shipping and no hazmat fee for that holiday period.
Oh.
So we're pretty excited about that because we think that will really help consumers. We know that, and during this time, all prices are going up all the time. It seems
right.
like I'm having to pay a lot more for my groceries at the grocery store, and so during this holiday period, we wanted to waive the shipping and hazmat. We'll see what the customer response will be, but I think that will help consumers out that are wanting powder right now.
And I was just going to say, I am seeing a whole lot more powder availability now than we had even 6 months and certainly a year ago. I mean, a lot of powders where people said, you just can't find it. It's out there now.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. There are still some exceptions to that. We still can't get our IMAR Enduron line, for example. There are some specialty powders like Trail Boss. We can't get enough Blackhorn 209, although Blackhorn 209 right now is pretty available. There are some exceptions to that, but as a rule, over the last 3 years, you couldn't find 4350 or Varget. Now those are everywhere. You couldn't find Retumbo or H1000. Those are in a much better position than they were even a year ago. So you can find a lot of the powders that you haven't been able to find over the last 3 years, and that's pretty exciting for a powder salesman to say.
And I'm going to suggest for people who've been doing this a long time, they have their favorite powders, their 4350s, 4831s and all. Take a look at, I call them new, they're not really new now, but the powders from Ramshot and also the Stay Ball line from Winchester, those are some amazing powders and what we're able to do with those, both in getting safe increases in velocity, but also the properties, the copper defouling, and basically the clean burning, more so than we've had in the past.
Yeah, that's correct. So our CFE line, the copper fouling elimination line under the Hodgdon brand, is a huge seller. So we have CFE Black for the blackout type cartridges. We have the CFE 223 and the CFE pistol. Under the Stable line, we now have 3 powders there as well: HD, Match, and Stable 6.5. So we have plenty of coverage out there. Depending on what you're trying to load, we're going to have new technology powders that operate at a very high level. So the cool thing about the Stable family is it is a ball powder that is temperature insensitive, right? So you can load it in a progressive press and it loads very, very well. So we've come out with some new technology, and I understand I'm a 4350 and a 4831 guy, have been for years. But even me, liking tradition and liking old stuff, even I'm excited about the Stable and the CFE lines because they work. Yes. And for somebody who's a hand loader, you want something that works and it's available. This stuff is available pretty much everywhere right now.
Aaron, thank you so much. We got the promotion this coming weekend, free shipping and no hazmat fee when you order off of the shop.hodgdon.com. And also, clearly, if you can find it locally, buy locally, because for one thing, you'll have it in hand when you walk out of the store.
That is correct.
There you go. Hey, good luck with the season. I know that you're going to be consumed as I am with all the hunting that's going on this fall.
Same to you. I'm looking forward to it. This is why we do this all year, right? And so I'm looking forward to the next few weeks and kicking off hunting season.
Exactly right. It's Aaron Oelger from Hodgdon.